All right, it's 10:10. Closing of cycles. You okay, Poncho? Thought I would do a little recording this morning. Do some journaling. I've been working on Earth Angel novella, the EAP Earth Angel project. And we're going down conspiracy lane. No, Poncho, come here. So I spent the morning, I had a crazy, put this a little lower. I had some crazy dreams last night. I believe the evil cabal was involved. I don't remember all of them, but I cleansed my energy afterwards. I've been working too hard on this project. I hate when, the day before it was my ex that creeped in my dreams. And then last night it was like high-level politicians, and at least it wasn't Jay-Z and Beyonce in my dreams this time. I don't think it was. I would think it was like more politics and stuff. And ugh. Anyway, sometimes I work too much on this project, but we've got so much going on in the world right now. Like, senile Satan is losing his fucking shit. Someone's new name, Senile Satan. I thought that was hilarious. Or I call him Dementia Diablo de Dementia. Let me open up this window. Okay, Poncho's cool over here. I was feeling a little, I don't care, feeling a little mopey earlier. Let me just cleanse the air a little bit more. I was feeling a little mopier earlier, I'm not gonna lie. This is my Palo Santo. I'm running low on it. But it's feeling a little, I don't know, the energy has just been so fucking heavy lately. And I guess it's the end of the year. You know, if you're to believe this Earth Angel novella, it's because all the Diablos, dementia ridden or not, are really working, all the forces are working really hard right now to overwhelm everyone. They're really losing power in this fictional story that I've been telling for 2 years. You know, the Earth Angel predicted that they would have a downfall, that they would be exposed, everything will be coming to light, blah, 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 blah. And they laughed. Who is this little brown peon that knows nothing? And at that point, in this for entertainment purposes only story, you know, decided to use everything in their power to bring down not just this particular Earth Angel, but many light workers across the world. Some people are aware of their gifts. Most people aren't. I channel the Earth Angel. I was not aware of my telepathic gifts or my storytelling gifts. I was not aware of how to translate my dreams or how to even communicate this story that has been in my head for quite a while. It wasn't until I went through my own trauma with the last relationship 2 years ago. After my good friend, I took care of her, and she passed away from cirrhosis of the liver. And I helped her transition. She lived with me and Poncho during that time. And that was around the time that I'd finally broken off from this evil leech and his fucking crazy psychotic ex who was obsessed with me. I started being more public about what I had endured, and also, you know, about the stalking that I endured. And I still believe I don't know so much now, but especially after we broke up again, um, the stalking continued. So, so that's kind of how the project originally started. And people that I told, and unfortunately, you know, when I say stalking, yes, I do believe he drove by and I saw when he would, and I know he had access to my house and stuff, but he also had access to, as a former military person, he, in a high level position in security at an energy company, he had government clearance, you know, the ability to access information on people that he really shouldn't have access to. And he utilized that. And that this is not fake. This is, he, I think as an intimidation factor, made sure that I knew that he could watch me anytime, and he knew of all of my life, everything that had been going on the last 15 years prior to him coming back into my life. He knew everything that had been going on in my life, and I had blocked him. So it was really kind of creepy. But anyway, it's kind of how this creative project started, was kind of telling my story then. I tried to talk to my family about it, but they didn't believe me. And they had their own agenda. They didn't, you know, they had no problem, you know, defining me as an alcoholic only, and someone that, you know, on paper isn't quite believable compared to this asshole who has a doctorate and a steady job and all that good stuff. Plus, you know, they're able to have control over my daughter still, and that fucking sucks. But I'm trusting in the universe that everything is happening as it should. And I am looking forward to seeing my daughter very soon. I got to see her for Thanksgiving, and next weekend we'll be spending some time together also. And, you know, I am finally working in a job. Of course, it's not an executive level job, and I'm so grateful. All I wanted is something enough to make a living and be happy with what I'm doing. And I am. I'm working in a place that I really love, with people that I really love. Is it physically exhausting? Yes, absolutely. And my poor hands, like, oh my gosh, they, at the end of the day, they ache, but it's a good exhaustion. And I am literally feeding people, and not just with food, but also with encouragement and spirit. You know, it's a healthcare recovery center, and I'm really inspired every day by seeing people that are committed to trying to, and I've been there. I have literally been there, you know, trying to get sober, trying to reclaim their life, trying to reclaim their power. And I'm really excited that I work at a place that embraces spirituality and many Native American traditions, and, you know, right up my alley, because they sage every therapy session, and it's so cool. I love walking into the building every morning and just smelling the smudge, and I just give a little prayer. Give me the ears to hear what I need to hear, the sight to see what I need to see, the mind to think what my ancestors are telling me, the voice to say what needs to be said, the heart to be open as it needs to be open, and the roots to be firm no matter where I'm at. I love that. I really do. I think we need more of that in, not just in recovery, but in our daily work environments. I think you'd see a big difference, in some meditation. So anyway, yesterday was a really busy day. I was really exhausted. I think I did one recording really quickly and did some reading. Oh, and I read a really cool book on signs. I may read a little bit more on that. Or I may go back to A New Earth. But either way, I'm feeling better. I'm glad I got up. I was having a little bit of a pity party earlier. I don't care. You know, I made a deal with my higher power, source, the universe. I made a deal with the universe about 2.5 years ago. In April 2023, I got really, really sick. I was very close to death. I know, sounds dramatic, but I really was. If you look back, I was hospitalized for about 10 days, and there were doctors that wouldn't even operate on me because the chances of me coming out were very slim, and they didn't want to be responsible for that, I guess. I've had a lot of intestinal issues, and a lot of scar tissue that cuts off the flow to my organs, which essentially shuts my body down. It's very fucking painful, I'm not gonna lie. But at one point, the doctor was just like, finally, we found one doctor that had done my surgery 10 years before in 2014. And he remembered me specifically, because it was such a complex issue. And fortunately, my intestines had receded because they telescope into each other, blocking the flow. But finally, they had released. And he mentioned that if and when it happened again, because it will happen again, that's what he said, he would immediately to call him. I had his number on speed dial, and had the hospital, his staff even knew who I was, that I would immediately go to this hospital and they would be able to do the surgery for me, which kind of sucked. I mean, which was wonderful and comforting in a sense. I came home, I had a feeding bag, like I had a little backpack with my little tube feeding me. It was pretty dire, but it was so eye-opening. And I was on medical leave at that time, and things were it's when I really tapped into my spirituality. And that's when I really connected, like with my dad and my uncles. I know it sounds crazy, my ancestors, these are passed over loved ones that I started to really feel connected to while I was struggling. And during the struggle, of course, I was fighting with my sister, and my mother, of course, taking her side and stuff, but it didn't matter. You know, it was like the first time where it didn't really bug me that much. And actually having them out of my life was a little bit of a comfort, because I didn't have to worry about comforting them, just like I was comforting them in the hospital when I was dying, you know. And I remember my friend from the other side of the world reached out to me. We have this thing where, like, we know when there's something crazy going on, and just randomly we'll try and reach out to each other. I had done it, was it later that year? Yes, it was. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, enough about that. I had made a deal with Source and my higher power, that I wanted to go on this spiritual journey. And I literally said a prayer. I remember telling my mom when I was talking to her, and she looked at me like, oh, like that is weird. She was never very supportive of my woo-woo stuff. Anyway, I had told my mom, that I had said a prayer for God to open my eyes and to see who around me was good for me. And whether I wanted, I said, to open my eyes to see the truth of people's intentions, because I felt like I was surrounded by people that I didn't trust. And that was just my intuition telling me, but I didn't trust my intuition then. And then the second part to that was and me to have the open heart to receive that and accept what I knew to be true. And that's important, because it's sometimes we'll see, you know, you see it even in politics, you see that in your influencers and people that you admire, or actors or actresses, or just people in general that you may have put on a pedestal. And sometimes, you know, you'll see the red flags and you just refuse to admit that they don't align with you, or that they could be what they're not. They could be, how do I say this? Maybe they're not all that you thought that they were or cracked up to be. And so, you know, I learned that from a high level. Even politicians like Obama that I adored and things like that. I'm not saying he's as evil as Trump, but I think he could have done a lot of things differently. And I think that at the end of the day, he still was a politician, and that's kind of heartbreaking. But to see now where we're at, I take him any day over what the fuck is going on now. However, I do also believe in this journey. So that was, let me step back a few. So when I made this promise to God, universe, source, whatever you call it, I asked for my eyes to be open. I asked that the truth be told, and that I would be, and I know this sounds crazy, but in my meditation, I was promised that if I told my story, if I told this Earth Angel novella, that I would be protected. Did I believe in a higher power? Did I believe in the universe? Did I really, truly believe, not what my fucking religion taught me, but what I knew inside to be true, and that is that I am a child of the most divine, of the highest source. And if I really, truly believed that I would be protected no matter what, that no matter how shitty things got, that it would be okay if I really trusted the universe. And if you're in recovery, that's, you know, that's like the essence of, if you just keep doing the next right thing. And sometimes it's hard because you think, well, I did the next right thing, so I should have a job that pays me X amount, or I should have this, or I should have that. And I was there, like probably the first year of this project. And it was frustrating because it was like, I keep doing the next right thing and I keep running into these heifers. And I really had a really hard time the last 2 years. I lost everything materially. You know, I broke off from my family. I literally walked away from my 3,000 square foot home, my 6-figure job. I lost all the stuff in the house, everything, my car, my Lexus. I still don't have a car. I went from making 6 figures to $11 an hour. And even then, dealing with the most fucked up people, having to walk to work 1.5 miles in the Texas heat was a pain in the ass. You know, working in fast food joints. I was a VP for JP Morgan Chase, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm not saying that to be all hoity-toity. I'm just saying, like, talk about a bitch slap from the universe and testing me as to whether I really was going to stay true. And I believe I did. I've had my moments. I cry. I get upset. You know, this morning, I'm not going to lie, it's hard when I spend time, I'll be honest with you, with my daughter sometimes, because I know she doesn't understand where I've been the last few years or what's been going on, and I've tried to shield her and protect her. You know, And I think she rightfully so has resentments towards me. You know, we have had an unorthodox type of life. But she has always been the first thing in my heart, and she is the reason why I fight so hard and I work this project so hard, is A, so that I can heal and be a better mother to her, and B, so that she doesn't have to live in this fucked up world that we have. Or if she does around people like that, she knows how to energetically protect herself from evil pieces of shit. And that's what I've had to learn to do. Even in my little 3D life, even, you know, people that I've worked with, family that are traitors, people that are cruel. I've had to confront a lot of my own demons, my own scary memories of sexual abuse and mental abuse and spiritual abuse. I know that sounds crazy, but I have definitely been under spiritual attack. And anyone that's an empath, anyone that has any type of spirituality can understand what that means. And it's so fucking hard to... People just think you're crazy. Does that make me crazy? I'm okay with that. Hold on, let me close my window. It's getting chilly. I got my snoring Frenchie. Stay right here, buddy. I'm okay. I'm just closing this. Okay. But what this journey has taught me is that how little I really do need materially. How much I relied on those kinds of things to define my success or my happiness. And the reality is that is no indication of who I truly am. And the people that look at me and judge me now for the way that I look, maybe the teeth are missing, they think I'm some meth head, or that, you know, I used to be an executive making 6 figures, and I'm working in a kitchen feeding people in recovery. And they judge me based off of that. Fuck you. You don't know me. And you are so missing out. And I feel bad for you. Because I've been there before. I have definitely judged people based on what they materially had or what titles they carried. Well, what I've learned in this world is that means nothing. I mean, look at Trump. What a vile... I don't care what you say. People are gonna hate me for this. I literally don't give a fuck. But if you cannot see how destructive and demonic that piece of shit is, are you stupid? Are you stupid? Quiet, piggy. Are you stupid? Are you retarded? He's a vile piece of shit that refuses to heal. And because of that fucking demonic piece of shit, so many people are suffering. And but the good part of that is that we see who people truly are. Those that still support him, those that still can justify pure evil, shows that they're not willing to look in the mirror themselves and see what it is about them that they see in Trump. And not just Trump, his evil fucking junk drawer. And they are the irregular bargain basement clearance rack piece of shits. Evil, like if you could get and attract the most vile people, so the project that I work on, of course, obviously, it's storytelling for entertainment purposes only, of course, but using actual world events. And, you know, obviously, I don't control what happens publicly and what happens politically, but holy shit, it is amazing how this story has how beautiful the universe has coordinated with me. Like, I can never, ever, ever deny that there's something bigger and greater than us all. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I really don't. If that makes me crazy, call me crazy. I will wear that proudly. But I think it's pretty fucking amazing how loved I am that the universe will conspire in my favor, and as I tell this story, find the facts that 100% support the story that I'm telling. And even though it is for entertainment purposes only, it really makes it it really is pretty crazy how truth is stranger than fiction. So anyway, that's been kind of my spiel. Ooh, I've been going on for a while. So I've been doing a little bit of the crazy conspiracy theories, one that came up today, and one that came from my high school days. UIL project was the water engine. That was a play that we did. It was a really, really cool play. And I think it was set in the 1940s or something, of a gentleman and his twin sister, or his sister, I think it was his twin. They were very close. It's weird. My ex and I played in that play together. We were both the leads. And it's about a guy that creates a water engine. And of course, that's amazing, right? But the story is about the evil powers that be that essentially want to get the patent, want to get the water engine from him, because fuck, if that is released, especially in the 1940s, can you imagine? No use for coal, no use for gas, no use, and it could be accessible to everyone. They would never want that ever to happen. So I had posted about this well over a year ago. I even think I tied Elon Musk to it. That's why, you know, in this fictional story, he had something to do with this guy being poisoned and killed. But in reality, not too long ago, I posted it on my wall again. There was a gentleman that actually created a water engine. And let me see if I can find his name. So in the play, they kidnapped the sister who I played. I was rather dramatic in it. They kidnapped the sister so that they can get the plans for the water engine. And when they go to meet up with him, they end up kidnapping him too. They end up dead. They kill both of them, I believe. It's a pretty dark play for high school, right? But he ends up sending the patent to, I think, a newspaper or something. This didn't happen in this case, but I just think it's really crazy how I believe, you know, I've been reading the book, The Signs of the Universe and things like that. How cool it is that that was my only UIL play I ever did. And that it kind of ties into the inventor of a water-powered car died screaming, "They poisoned me." Stan Meyer. He started getting mass media attention, of course. And of course, His technology was under investigation by a number of investors, the U.S. Department of Energy and the U.S. Department of Defense. Of war. He died in 1998. After dining at a restaurant, many close to him, including his twin brother. Holy shit, he had a twin. That's so fucking crazy. Okay, I didn't realize that. Believes Stan was intentionally poisoned. He claimed just before he died in the restaurant parking lot that he was poisoned. And my Earth Angel novella, I've been poisoned. For entertainment purposes only. It's part of why my teeth are all fucking falling out. But I am strong like bull. And I am protected by the Most High. According to his brother Stephen, he took a sip of cranberry juice, then he grabbed his neck, bolted out the door, dropped to his knees, and vomited violently. Stevens claimed there were reports in various media outlets over many years, like the Columbus Dispatch, for example. I ran outside and asked him what's wrong, his brother Stephen recalled. He said they poisoned me. That was his dying declaration. The Department of Defense was concerned about this device. It's also interesting to reference the 1952 Invention Secrecy Act. Perhaps Stan's invention, if real, was a threat to the national security corporate interests, and that's why the DoD took such a heavy interest. Stan was mocked, called a conspiracy theorist, and labeled as a hoaxer not long after his invention went public. So, this is the dude. The water engine. So that one came up on my feed again today. Coincidence? I think not. And then another one that I had been, so this is how it works for me. I've kind of cleaned up my algorithm on my YouTube. I've cleaned up on Facebook, things that I post. And a lot of the times I'll just tell the universe, send me a story or send me what I need to review. I know, sounds crazy, right? But I trust the universe. And there was one that came up a few days ago about a whistleblower Catholic priest. And it said, was he murdered? And I was like, I don't have time for this. I always say that to the universe. I don't have time for this. I did the same thing with Gaza when I was in the middle of my little 3D life. And I was like, I don't want to think about Israel and Gaza. And I'm glad I have, because it just opened me up personally, my own humanity. Even though it's part of this story, it's not fiction, what's going on over there. It's horrendous, horrendous. And we all should be horrified. Just go Italy. Go Italy. These are the people that are awake there that are protesting constantly. Us Americans are so fucking self-absorbed. And then again, we do have Dementia Don or Dementia Diablo in the White House, so we're pretty absorbed in that. But the reality is, as the greatest country on earth, which I'm starting to wonder, you know, we shouldn't be enabling and sending money and weapons to Israel to continue that catastrophe. But anyway, I digress. See how crazy this story goes. So the Catholic priest, and I have been talking a lot about Catholicism and Mormonism in this project, and in these storylines, how they're connected to really vile, you know, how they're all engaged in money laundering and drug trafficking and sex trafficking, including the Mormon Church and all that stuff. And I know that was kind of extreme to say, and I had a hard time even saying it because I was raised Mormon and I loved that church, but it's in my head, I'm like, it's just a fictional story and I can say it, you know? But then I started to do research on it, and all the stuff that I've been saying, even the fucking satanic ritual Masonic shit that I invented in my dreams or in my head are actually true. Well, it is true that Joseph Smith was a Mason and that the temple ordinances are all, that they do baptisms for the dead, that they do. That's what the dream was last night. Ugh, I rebuked that. Oh, I'm glad I cleansed. I had a dream. Oh, fuck, now I remember. that I was going through the Mormon temple. Okay, so one thing I've always prided myself on was that I never went through the endowments. I never made those fucking covenants in that evil temple, the Mormon temple. All my family has. I never wore the funky underwear with the Masonic. They literally have, you know, the Masons have that square and the compass. That's on your tits. That's on your nipples, literally. Those are the signs. They're Masonic signs. It's also on your belly button. It's on your knee. The things that they say through the veil passing in the temple, they sound benevolent, but they're actually what is used in the satanic church with more curse words. It's almost word for word. The hand gestures that people do in the temples, they have no idea. It's talking about cutting their throat out of their mouth if they tell the secrets, or disemboweling themselves when they do that. That is the kind of shit that the Mormon temple does. And I was always very proud that I never got that far in that church. And last night, that's what I dreamt about. That I was going through, I was wearing some weird white outfit with a green apron, a little shower cap, but it was like I was in a gym. I remember thinking, well, this is so fucking ghetto, because the Mormon temples are really posh and stuff like that. But in this one, it was like there were so many people there. And I remember just thinking, why am I here? I don't want to be here. I'm not comfortable. But it was like I was being led through this process, not knowing exactly what I was doing, and it feeling like, well, it's not really that big a deal. I'll just go along with it. But when I woke up, I was just like, ooh. And I remember thinking, oh, this is the Mormon ritual. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I know how I feel about the Mormon church. And especially in this Earth Angel novella, I've been talking real truth and shit about the church. So why would I be dreaming about this? Maybe that's why I was dreaming about it. But I know when I woke up, I was like, I rebuke thee, any covenants, any contract signed in my dreams. Bitches, I am out. And motherfuckers, my ancestors will not allow that. Because my ancestors, unfortunately, against their will, were baptized into that church after their death. After their death. Why do you think Mormons love genealogy so much? They literally baptize people after they die. They make them commit to their Masonic God after they die. So you think my ancestors are going to let shit like that happen? Even in my dreams? That's why my family protects me. I know, I sound crazy, and I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. I'd rather sound crazy and it not be true than just be passive and pretend like spirituality isn't real and be committed to a dark coven. I really do believe by exposing and talking about this kind of shit that people will be less likely to pay their fucking 10%. That's the only way you'll get into heaven for these fucking Mormons. Okay, enough about Mormons. Fuck you. Don't ever come into my dreams again. I don't want to be a part of your fucking temple satanic. I need to make sure my records are removed. I looked that up the other day. They make it very difficult. I'm going to have my records removed from that church. It's evil. I don't, and that's going to piss off a lot of people. Fuck you. It's evil. There are good people there. There are good values around it, but you worship a dark god. And someone that supports, and a group that supports Trump and protects, literally protects their abusers in the name of their corporation, I mean church. They're just, go online. I'm not talking conspiracy theorists. I'm saying go online and look up Mormon sex abuse, child sex abuse. It's just as bad as the Catholics. So now, pivoting back to Catholics. something that come up on my feed earlier. And I had ignored it because I had other shit going on. And then it came up on my feed again today. And it's one that it should be coming on later this afternoon. It's a podcast that's coming on later. And it was about, was this whistleblower Catholic priest murdered? And immediately it was yes. I know, it's an assumption, but that's, Spirit told me, yeah, oh, heck yeah, Mija, you need to look into this one. This one needs to, it's time. That is what I heard in my head. I know. Call me crazy. So I see the name and it's Moreno. And I'm like, oh, he's a Latino. Like, and I do. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little, you know, I was like, oh, his name was Joseph Moreno, Joe Moreno. He was up from upstate New York, I think, in 2012. I just listened to part of it, and it just, oh, it breaks my heart, man. He was one of the good Catholics. And there are, just like there are some good Mormons. There are people that join because they really do believe, just like I was a decent Mormon. I was primary president. I was Relief Society in my singles ward. You know, I was Young Women's president. Like, I tried to be a good Mormon. Well, he was a good Catholic guy. And in 2012, he was found, and immediately they said it was a suicide. And this being a suicide, you know, he shot himself. So let me see if I can do this right. He was right-handed, but they say he shot himself twice in the back of his head with his left hand. A hand that he could not use because it had been stabbed before, because he had been targeted by a robber that had come in and stabbed him. So he couldn't even use his hand. But he shot himself in his head twice, in the back of his head. Catholic priest, suicide. And you know how them Catholics feel about suicide, right? Very beloved man, like he was a good dude. And of course, he was whistleblowing on pedophile priests there. Like vile, bringing a 6-year-old boy into the office and telling him he's going to have ice cream and not letting him out until he gets his fucking blowjob from a 6-year-old. That kind of priest. He was exposing that shit. As well as $500,000 missing. And another priest who is in severe debt and had lots of medical issues. Oh, that's the priest that found him. Like, it is such a fucking shady, shady story. And it had a lot to do with these priests being connected to the mob, which is what the Earth Angel Project has been saying. I mean, even up into the Vatican, these fuckers were high level into the mob. That is not me just, that's actual truth. I wish this story was fictional, but it's not. That happened in 2012, and there still has not been any justice. And his sister, God bless her, still tries. There's a bunny outside. Still tries to get justice for him. And he was so beloved. Like, so many people were so sad when he died. But that's what I mean. You know, you see that in these, what's happening in the world now. Like, you would literally, people, because they won't take accountability, will hide behind religion and use religious resources. You wonder what kind of God they serve, right? That's why I believe this Earth Angel Project. The God that they worship, the creator of this earth, is an evil God. Is a jealous God, is a cruel God. It's the kind that allows genocides to happen. It's the kind that demands sacrifice, that demands pure loyalty. I am the only God. Okay, Pancho. And I know that sounds sacrilegious too, especially the way I was raised. But the more I do research and the more I learn about true Mormonism, true Catholicism, you look at the Christian alt-right, it's so opposite. I mean, Jesus was a mystic healer that had Christ consciousness, that connected to source. And he tried to tell us that we don't need these fucking middlemen. He tried to call out the politicians. He tried to call out the religious people. He tried to call out all that shit. And what did they do? They killed him. And then, stop! They trademarked Jesus. The Mormon Church, the only true church on earth. Joseph Smith was, and he's the first prophet of the Mormon Church, he was a treasure digger. He was an occultist. He literally dabbled in dark magic. I am not kidding. That is not a joke. There are court documents. He sacrificed animals in the forest when he would get his visions once a year. When you look at what the Mormons believe, you know, when he was 14 and he got his revelation from an angel, of course that's changed 4 times. He would go once a year to see the golden plates. He would go once a year into the forest and deliver animal sacrifices. This dude was evil. The whole reason polygamy happened was because he was fucking other men's wives, including 14-year-old girls. They weren't wives, they were just, you know, house guests of his. He is a predator. And it's disgusting that we worship him. Brigham Young, the most racist piece of shit on earth, he's got a fucking university after him. He's got this moral purity code when all he cared about was fucking money and, oh. The truth is ugly. And what I'm saying is the actual truth. It's not me being a bitter Mormon. It's the actual truth. And my wish is through this project to be able to expose that truth. But you see it. You see it in churches. You see it in politics right now, what we're dealing with. But I do believe we are coming to the age. I know we are. I know. In this Earth Angel Project, I predict, not even predict, I've already predicted how this ends, and that all will be exposed, and we will be able to progress forward in a new truth and in the actual truth. You know, people won't be able to hide behind falsities and false prophets and false churches and false gods anymore. All that needs to be exposed is the truth. And you know what? If you're on the right side of life, you shouldn't be afraid of truth. That's why you need to get your fucking house in order. I did. The last 2 years, that's what I've been doing. The last 51 years, that's what I've been doing, but especially the last 2 years. I've had to face my own demons. I've had to face my own lies that I even tell myself. Because I'm sure as I share this, and I do plan on this project, I plan on this being public. I plan on sharing this. I'm ready. I was ready yesterday to share this with the world. My own personal story, my own spiritual recovery. And that includes, you know, learning about the churches I grew up in, learning about the politics that I grew up in, the culture I grew up in, the family I grew up in. And that may not make me very popular, and I'm fucking okay with that. I am. Because I get to live in my truth. And that's pretty fucking powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. I'm going to come back and read A New Earth a little bit later, but I'm going to go to my thrift shop find. Light is the new black. Let me pick a random one. Okay. Dear God, 188, living in the light. Every emotion that you feel, good or bad, is about a relationship between your current thought and understanding of source within you on the same topic. Perhaps you have a great relationship with God, source, the universe, or perhaps you were raised to fear God, source, the universe. Maybe you were taught that you needed to earn your love, or maybe you were brought up with the mantra that believing in a higher power is a bit airy-fairy. Whether you have an unwavering faith or are a flat-out non-believer, our relationship with and beliefs about God, source, universe actually influence so much of how we live our life, especially the things that are left unsaid. As I demonstrate in part 1 with my F you God letter, oh, I've been there, see page 20, opening up a real dialogue between you and the source is an extremely powerful tool for interrogating your underlying beliefs and bringing your light into the world. Work your light. Write a letter to God. It might be an FU letter, a thank you letter, or a simple memo. Simply write, Dear God, Divine, the Universe, at the top of the page, and let yourself riff. Once you're done, take a breath and let God, the divine, the universe respond. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been there. Sometimes I mean, even recently I've been like, where the fuck are you, God? Like, why are people still dying in Gaza? Why is that dementia, syphilis-ridden piece of shit still sitting in the White House? Why does he still have a fucking platform? And I keep going back to that promise. Do you trust me? Everything is happening exactly as it should. Just surrender, and I'll take care of you, Mija. Just hang in there. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm hanging in there. The universe is exposing. And you know what the truth is? Because I've been like, why hasn't this? And the reality is, if all the truth was exposed all at once. I mean, I think about me on my personal journey. It took me at least 2 years to even look into the church I was raised in and think possibly, have I been deceived this whole time? So the reality is I believe the world is being given so many signs that when we couldn't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth all at once, because the way this story is, I mean, everything is involved. Politics, religions, businesses, like all of these people. It is the largest betrayal ever, and not just of these people, but of the God that we have worshipped. Has turned out to be an evil piece of shit. That can literally break your head, break your mind. But if you slowly start to digest all the signs around you, it all makes sense. And when you learn to trust the universe, this is the only way that I could learn the truth about what is going on around me. And that's why I do this project. That's why I babble on for almost an hour already. And I try to, be as vulnerable and as transparent as I am, as I learn the truth about who I am and where I come from and what this world is entailed in. But I'll tell you one thing, as dark as it is, I'm not fucking afraid. I am so ready. And I hope I can get other people ready to be exposed to the truth. Because we all deserve that. But it is like drinking from a fire hose. It can drown you if you're not prepared. So I've been learning how to breathe underwater. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this one off for now. I may jump on a little bit later, but if you are listening, if you are watching, thank you for being a part of my spiritual journey. And once again, I really hope that you go on your own Earth Angel project, that you start to question and follow your heart on things that have been bugging you, but you're too afraid to consider. And I promise you, yes, it's a little scary, and yes, things may get a little dark, but it's so fucking liberating. You won't regret it. And the universe, however you want to choose to believe, the universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it, whether you like it or not, has your back. Just trust in it. Love you. Bye.